Hi Virgo, and wait to move my camera. Welcome to your December the 1st to the 15th general tarot reading. So there's just too much going on to do a full monthly reading, so I thought that I would try and navigate it this way. And we're obviously on the verge of a brand new chapter in humanity's history, and what I'm finding that it is beginning to show up for everyone, but I think it'd be too overwhelming to bring it sort of all into 1 month's reading. So I'm going to do it this way. So your Lenormands are the garden and the fishes. So the garden is about socialization and connecting, so being outwards with people. And because it's with the fishes are about prosperity. I mean, it can be a bit social prosperity. You know, so many of us have been so sort of isolated, and this might just be the joy of connecting with other people. The fishes can also be about financial prosperity. It's traditional interpretation in the Lenormand cards is about money, but I read it that it sort of expands whatever it touches, and what is being expanded is connection, which is absolutely brilliant after the year that we've had. So I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to do what I've done for everyone, so I'm not doing what's behind you. So there'll be 7 cards, and I will just do the normal tarot reading, but not what lies behind you, because I'm finding the readings are quite long and a little bit, it's not that it's complicated, but before we get to a new cycle, there's always the ending of an old one. And if some of you are not having really sort of big sort of outer manifestations, it can be coming across as a little bit like depression, sort of just feeling, oh, I'm not living the life that I truly want to live. Yeah. So there's certain ways this ending can be showing up, but don't forget, we're going forward to an event that a lot of people have been waiting for most of their lifetime. So 7 cards for Virgo. Sorry to be so over the top. I'm just very, very excited about the whole thing. So what you want is 9 of Pentacles, which is your card. The gift is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is a very fast moving knight, tends to bring quite rapid change. Yeah. Sometimes it's like a change that comes overnight. So the challenge is the Hanging Man, which is your opposition sign. Relationships, you've got the Ace of Swords, and the gift is the Knight of Swords. So this is about clarity coming your way. Clarity is a wonderful thing, Virgo. You know, there's nothing worse. So if you think of your opposite sign, Virgo, Pisces, so when you're in your Pisces realm, everything can be very, very confusing, feeling a little bit lost. So the gift of clarity is the gift of sight. It's knowing what you want. It's knowing what you're after and then sort of going after it, which would be wonderful. Yeah, money and work, you get the Ace of Pentacles, so that is the fishes. Some sort of ace in your hand. Perfect. I don't really think I can add to that card. I will clarify. Oh my gosh, Virgo, what have you got? And now you've got the Ace of Cups. That's soul level. Now, if you get the Ace of Wands, I am literally, what will I do? Now that you get the King of Cups. So 3 aces. Yeah, so actually, Virgo, if I remember right, I think you've probably got the most challenging reading of all the last 2 weeks of November. Yeah. And it's sort of, sometimes before we get to that new beginning, we can go through a really, really difficult cycle. It can manifest in conflicts, it can manifest as depression, but they're all signs. If we learn that our emotions are actually our friends, we learn to read our codes. And once we understand our soul codes, then, and we listen to them, then we get to birth the new beginnings that we want, which is exactly what you're about. I mean, what you want is the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is the Hermit card. I mean, it is a card about traditionally being self-employed. It's a card of certain amount of financial security. I mean, it's pretty self-evident in the picture that this is someone who's enjoying the fruits of her labour that she's put in. It comes after the Eight of Pentacles. So working to master your craft and then perfecting that craft and launching it out into the world. But it might also be this desire to spend some time in reflection and digestion. We are coming to the end of a very, very intense year. There's been an awful lot of loss. There's been a lot of everything going on. So the Nine of Pentacles is about stopping to pause. The Knight of Swords is the gift, and I have a funny old feeling that might be around, it could be around relationships, but it could be around some sort of job, some sort of finances. It could be around love. So it could be around anything. Take your pick. The challenge of the Hangman, now isn't that always the case? So there's always a challenge. When the challenge is the Hangman, because you don't have the Ace of Wands, I just realised that. So the Ace of Wands is the acting energy. It goes forward and initiates things, but you don't have that because the challenge is the Hanging Man. Oh, so why is it a challenge? Sorry, I'm wondering, because the new conjunction, new phase conjunction won't be till December the 21st. And so I wonder, because all the aces are gifts, they're all some new potential that if you do the right thing, they grow into something bigger, yeah? So the aces aren't a given. You know, like you get a seed, and if you plant it, it becomes a tree, or it becomes whatever it's in its genetic code. That's what the aces are. They're all this, probably my favourite cards are the aces, because they represent this brand new beginning and this brand new potential. But you don't have the Ace of Wands, which I think is very odd with the Hanging Man. Why is the Hanging Man the challenge? Why is the Hanging Man the challenge, please? Okay, it's with the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is a fruition card. It's a completion card. And the Hanging Man, there's maybe something here that feels a little bit the Ten of Cups is the happy family card, the happy home card. So how we define happy family and happy home is really, really up to us. It doesn't have to be biological family. It can be so many different things. Sometimes there's the feeling that there's a completion that's still out of your grasp, okay? And as a feeling that you're not in control of that process. But Virgo, it doesn't really get much better than this as a reading when we're talking about new potential and new doors opening your way. I mean, it just doesn't get any better. And okay, you haven't got the Ace of Wands, so it might be talking about, oh, this is just the seed. And it's not a pushing forward time, because it's probably not a pushing forward time till, oh, I don't know where you are. In the UK, we're in lockdown, so nothing's getting started. So I wonder if that's a challenge. So what I need to find out. So what's the Ace of Swords about in relationships? What's this Ace of Swords about for Virgo in their relationships? This is about clarity, enlightenment, cutting through the shadows, getting to the truth. And it's with the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is the garden. It's joy. These people are flying because they've released what was holding them back. And even though there is some sort of challenge with the Hanging Man, the Ten of Cups, that could be anything, Virgo. It could be, you know, for some of you, it's like, oh, and it's a December reading. It'd be, oh my gosh, I cannot go and visit people that I want to for Christmas. It might be that, yeah, not being able to gather with people. There might be an issue with some family members. But the Ace of Cups, the Three of Cups is releasing the Ten of Wands. So this is about releasing what's been burdening you and allowing yourself to feel this lightness, this joy. Yeah? That's definitely the garden, Virgo. Yeah? Now, I think the Ace of Pentacles is probably the fishes. What's the Ace of Pentacles doing in work? So it's with the Eight of Pentacles. So again, this is an awful lot. So the Eight of Pentacles is becoming a master. So it's about crafting your skills, and the Ace of Pentacles. So this could be a new course of study. You could be working towards a new course of study. You could be just working really, really hard to, you know, some gifts been given to you, or there's some sort of potential. But with the Eight of Pentacles, so the Eight of Pentacles is still mastering something, but we're always in a process of mastering and learning and growing. And that's really, really what these cards are about. But there's some gift that's been offered to you, which if you work at it, Virgo, if you spend time mastering it and putting discipline into it, that it's going to grow into something very, very beautiful. Now, at a soul level, you've got the Ace of Cups, which is probably my favourite card in this deck. Can talk about a new love relationship, news coming your way, some sort of clarity coming your way. It can be about, it's obviously about self-care. You have to really, really love yourself enough to allow yourself the gift of meaningful work, to allow yourself the gift of clarity. So the Ace of Cups can be a new chapter of self-care, self-nurturing. It's with the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands is some victory, some triumph over adversity, which seems to be leading Virgo to this fantastic brand new chapter. I almost want to ask why you haven't got the Ace of Wands, but I think, why have you not got the Ace of Wands? Yeah, the Chariot came up in reverse. So there's still a feeling, it's almost like you're crafting, you're mastering, you're opening up. Some of you are maybe in communication with someone. That's what it's about. There's contact, there's information being shared. And you're definitely overcoming some great difficulty. The challenge with the Hanged Man could be so simple. So, I mean, it could be that simple of not being able to gather with people. It could be not being able to, you know, because the aces are all these potentials. And because the 10 is a challenge, it's bringing the ace to the conclusion. So a classic example would be a new love, but not able to gather, to meet. For some of you, that's the story. But I'll have your reading, Virgo. So the outcome is the King of Cups. This could be a water sign person. It could be about peace. Because when I think back to your last reading of all, I felt there was quite a lot of conflict around you. And I knew you were potentially moving towards less troubled waters, which depends when you're watching this, would probably be the energy that you're leaving behind. So it was the Queen of Cups, so it's making contact, making peace. So the King of Cups might be a water sign person, or this could be you. Yeah, look, got the Sun, and now you've got the Queen of Cups. Wow. Now, if this is a relationship, this is two people who want exactly the same thing. I mean, exactly. The issue, I am going to say it, Virgo, and you're not allowed to shout at me yet, but sometimes when the King and Queen of Cups show up, there is so much love here. But there's no fire yet. Even though the Sun is fire, and this is about illumination, bringing clarity, a bit like the Ace of Swords. It's about illuminating things, but there's still no fire. Which is quite bizarre. You know who got a very, very similar reading to this was Pisces, actually. And it was a very, very similar reading because it was like this, but it was something about the speed, and this is what's going on here. It's about the speed and the completion of something that's a challenge. And the Hanged Man is a feeling that you're not in control. And when the King and Queen of Cups appears, it's like, oh my God, the level almost of pure infatuation. And two people wanting the same. But sometimes no one... Now, I've seen these people, I'm going to say it just in case this reading's for you. Sometimes no one talks about it. So no one ever initiates anything. So it stays at the feeling level without ever happening. Give Virgo another card. Actually you do, and then you get the Knight of Wands. So this is the fire. Fire and air are yang, yeah? So they make things happen, and you have got that as the gift. I think particularly in your relationships, there's an issue of two people here, and it's nothing to do with the quality of love between you or the quality of energy. But there's an issue about propelling action. Now, there's obviously so many reasons why sometimes that action is someone's already in a relationship. I've seen that many times. Tends to be a card like the Eight of Swords you get there. So feeling that you cannot pursue it because of current circumstances. That's the Eight of Swords. Sometimes it's just a feeling of inadequacy. That's what the Five of Pentacles. Or sometimes people just go through crap times. But you get a Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a little bit like the Knight of Swords. These are very, very, very much of a yang, going forward and making things happen. You're in process, Virgo. Now, the way to work out where the big conjunction is happening is to, where does Aquarius fall in your birth chart? Yeah. So if it's the natural zodiac, it'll be what, your 6th house? Yeah. Which is the house of creating meaningful work. So you can definitely see that, but we also have a birth chart that's not natural zodiac. So there's probably a theme of meaningful work. Meaningful work is so important in life, but you'll probably find if you look at your birth chart, there's some other themes going on. There'll be other transits that the Aquarius dynamic is triggering. It looks to me that there's some new relationship potential here. And almost I don't mean to laugh when I see the Hangman as a challenge, but it's not far been off 2000, the meaning of 2020 here. And it just hasn't been. But Uranus is about breaking free from old patterns, yeah, liberating yourself. It's a lot more complicated than that. So I think that's happening around work, and I think there's a potential that it's happening around relationships for some of you, because when the Ace of Swords comes in, it's about being in the truth. It's about being in the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I'm not saying that it automatically makes everything okay, but it starts to free up energy. And when we free up energy, the universe is most likely to meet us halfway. So Virgo, I'll put my details below for my website or my email. It's really good. You can do it yourself. Just get your free birth chart and work out where all the Uranus and Aquarius energy is transiting. So natural zodiac is going to be about meaningful work. Meaningful work is so important in this world. I love what I do. Yeah. And to love what you do is such a freedom. But I think there'll be a theme of relationships as well going on here. So working out where the transit is and what it wants to do, and then we co-create with it. So if you know, it wants me to get meaningful work, end of, then you work and work and work to make that happen. If it wants to break free from old relationship patterns, then you make that happen. Because if we don't, we just get served crap. And I really don't want you getting served crap, Virgo. So yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, links below for personal reading, but if not, you can do it on your own. Just synthesize what houses, where the great liberation wants to happen, where the new start wants to happen. It looks like, Virgo, it wants to happen just in about every area of your life, particularly around the mind, relationships, work, and matters of the heart. So thank you, Virgo, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.